Hello and welcome back to Fairly Odd Parents, Shadow Showdown. This is Bio Enchanted, and today we're doing Get a Clue, which is my favourite level in the game. So let's head on in there, shall we?
Well, Jordan, how's the investigation coming?
Or have you been kicking back while we do all the work?
Do you enjoy having arms and legs, feeble Cosmo Fury?
Sure, they're useful.
You are too stupid to intimidate.
Thanks.
Have you found the royal jewel yet? Do we need the other muffin ingredients?
I have not located the jewel thief.
Where was it stolen from?
The jewel was stored in a vault in Oberon and Titania's mansion. It was locked behind a magic door which never opens.
Is the door that never opens still a door, or just part of a wall?
I have decided that you, Timmy Turner, and your annoying godparents shall aid in my investigation.
A precious jewel stolen from behind an unopenable door? This sounds like a mystery for Ace Spade, the Maltese chicken.
I love the way you switch disguises, sweetie.
And I love mysteries. Most things are a mystery to me. Let's go.
This is a really fun level with a lot of interesting gimmicks and a really interesting layout, although it can make it difficult to explore. But we'll go into that in a few minutes when we actually get into it.
Good day, young man. Good fairies.
Hello, crinkly old Chamberlain.
Jorgen von Strangle sent us here to detect stuff.
Ah, the missing jewel. Yes, it is a sad day.
I feel pretty good.
Me too. Maybe it's only sad if you're old.
So, Mr. Faithful Retainer who is above suspicion, any clues?
I'm sure the mansion is packed with them, young Master Timmy. But I fear my eyes aren't what they used to be.
What did they used to be? Eggs? Bees? Turtle toes?
Are Oberon and Titania here? I want to suck up to ex-royalty and maybe try on some fancy dresses.
Regrettably, due to a, shall we say, sudden attack of being too highly strung, my lord and lady are not available for interview. You should start by talking to the door that never opens. It guards the treasure room.
A talking door? Okay, that sounds like fun. Let's detect.
Ah! A ghost! Wanda, make it go away!
It's probably as scared of you as you are of it, Cosmo.
Wow, I'm really scary.
So, the mansion's haunted, huh? Interesting.
So let's head, first of all, for a bit of a look around this massive foyer. Before we go deal with the ghosts and talk to the door, let's head to the shop, because we have some stuff I wanted to pick up. Now we have quite a bit of money.
Attack harder and further when you bounce.
Bye-bye, crown coins. I'll miss you. A lucky charm. That makes you tougher.
I'm just kind of pricing everything up at the moment. Useless. But these aren't available yet, so I guess I'll go for the clover.
There's a clover leaf for
Bye-bye, crown coins. I'll miss you.
There we go. Now we've got the stuff we can buy right now that's actually of any help. Let's take care of the ghosts.
You the door that never opens?
Who's asking?
Hello, Mr. Door. This is Timmy, an ace detective, and we're
his cow pies.
He means collies. Where were you on the night of the theft?
Right here, genius. I'm a door. I don't move.
Do-re-mi.
Don't make notes, take notes.
And you've never opened?
Hey, it's not my job, though. I keep people out.
So the thief must have got into the treasure room through some other entrance?
Ooh, you're sharp, I can tell.
Would you mind if I dusted your handle for prints?
Yes.
Our work here is done.
So let's fully explore stuff, or at least start to explore now, shall we? We don't really have many places we can go right now. It's a very big room, there's a lot of stuff we just can't reach yet.
An opening in the ceiling.
Is that suspicious?
It means we have to get up there.
I really like the music in this level, and just generally the layout's really fun. It's just the best level in the entire game, really, in both games. Although it does have the worst boss fight, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Can't go that way yet, because we can't do anything with that type of door yet. But we're over here for treasures. I like the rapid arpeggio in the music as well, that kind of like harmonizes well with the spooky ghost sounds. It's actually very grim, gritty ghost in the way it feels, this song, and I quite like that. Because I'm a sucker for grim, gritty ghosts. There's a little bit of slowdown, but it's definitely better than the scrambled graphics of the other emulators, so yeah. Just bear with. It's not nearly as distracting. I was checking there wasn't anything to the suits of armor. There's not. They're just kind of a decoration. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't something breakable. I'd forgotten. Been a long time since I've done this level. It's a very complicated level as well. There's a lot of things where you can just easily miss like 1 or maybe 3 coins and just be really angry because it's like, oh, where's this last coin?
A yellow star, like the badge of a yellow sheriff.
Ah, get away, spooky thing!
A star behind glass.
How do we open the cage?
This seems actually a little tricky to work out because you need to be very quick on your feet. There's a particularly good order you can do these in. You see, in this room you have to hit all 4 of these switches
That's one switch. Hurry to the
in a
next.
very tight time limit. So it's generally best to work out which switch is the most complicated to get to. Go for that one first, and then just mad dash to the other ones. It's definitely a unique room though, and I waste a lot of time going for these 2 coins as well just to get them. Because I can't easily get back. So let's just let this expire while we go try and get to the next thing, shall we? We're not gonna make it. Yeah. So let's go over to that one on the other side of this cage first, because this one's the most complicated one to actually get to. So it's one that takes the longest because of how many steps there are to get there. Then from here we can relatively chill track to the rest of the room. This is generally the best order to go in because it's order of most complicated start to get to least complicated, while detouring to this easy one on the floor over there in the corner. This is a nice basic circuit of the room. One more switch. Let's head back up those little pillars, shall we? There we go. Yeah, release the star. We also need to be aware of that statue. So the star won't leave its vicinity and it will do its best to smash us. So let's just let that happen, shall we?
Please.
One more star to get. So let's go to the only other room we can get to right now.
Oh, a star on a clock.
I hope we have time to catch it. Get it?
This is kind of a neat little room. It's a very basic one.
Ah, get away, spooky thing!
But I kind of like the way it's laid out and everything like that, and the visuals here. It's a nice little library area.
Careful, Timmy. Medieval armor often comes to life.
Maybe if you've cast a substitutionary locomotion spell, but I hope you haven't done that one though. That would be stupid of you, wouldn't it? Had a lot of trouble making that reference because I had a lot of trouble saying those big words. But just remember, in substitutionary locomotion, and not restitutionary substitution. This takes Draconian Coites and a little Satis D, and suddenly we have a lot of suits of armor trying to smash us with hammers, so sometimes magic can backfire a little. I really like that movie. Let's deal with the bookshelf ghost, shall we? Spooky little boy. Careful.
Pretty much explored this floor. We need to get upstairs.
But there are no stairs to the upper floor. Fairies can fly, of course. We don't need any stairs.
But I do. Stairs are fundamental to my ability to go up and down.
I have a simple solution.
Oh boy, I love it when Cosmo thinks laterally. It's a whole new definition of lateral.
If we turn the mansion upside down, then this will be upstairs, and upstairs will be downstairs. Simple.
But won't Oberon and Titania be upset if we mess with their home like that?
Who cares?
I'm convinced. I wish for a mansion upside downer. All good detectives turn crime scenes upside down.
Now ceilings will become floors, and floors will become ceilings.
Try it now. Let's find out how good that creaky old Chamberlain is at dusting.
Yeah, every room has two states in this level. The ceiling is a floor and the floor is a ceiling, depending on how you are. Not really much on the ceiling of this room yet. We'll come back to that one later. We're just kind of trying to remember where things are in general. Here, there's something here, but I missed it. You saw it just then, but I'll get it later. I missed it this time around because I'd forgotten it was there and I wasn't looking for it. So let's use the upside downer to get the coins we couldn't get to because they were on top of really tall bookshelves. Like these ones over here, for example. I quite like this one because I quite like the idea of the whole literally turning the place upside down while searching for clues kind of a thing. Like, every wish in this level has something to do with detective work, whether it's a visual pun or something to help sniff out secrets. It's always something related to detective work, and I quite like that. It's one of the most consistent levels. It feels like, kind of like, maybe even like the first one put together, because it feels like the level with the most thought put into it, and the most consistency within the themes of what it's doing. The mechanics are ambitious as well, because it means they have to design the ceiling that works well as a platforming level, as well as the floor. Otherwise it'd just be a big boring box. So the fact that you have to jump across the rafters and stuff like that, it adds a little something to it. Not much, but it's something. And there's a really awesome set piece we'll come up to in a minute with this as well, so that's definitely well worth it. First we just need to grab these extra coins, which we've got now, so let's move on, shall we? Now we can finally do the ceiling in this room. And get those chandelier coins, of course. This room's big. It's bigger than we thought. Of course there's coins up there above the doorway as well, so let's grab those first, so we don't forget them. So those coins can be a pain to see if you don't already know they're there. I quite like the gimmick though. It reminds me a lot of Terror Towers, which is like this old children's game show that was like a children's version of Crystal Maze. It was kind of horror themed. It's sort of like the MC had a sidekick that was like a talking spider puppet, and you collected eyeballs instead of crystals, doing physical and mental challenges and things like that were suitable for the young teens that would take part in the game. Let's go on these birthday cakes. How many chandeliers? But yeah, Terror Tower was kind of owned because it had this one room that when they entered it, it kind of it was a room that's entire construction was upside down, and it was constantly kind of teetering back and forth on the roof, on the unstable roof, And as a result of that, they often had things where they had to like manipulate a large puzzle or put like something in a delicate position, and it would always be in danger of falling over because of the way the room was constantly tilting and warping because it was balanced on its ceiling. I thought that was a really clever idea. Terror Towers was completely my jam when I was a kid. I'll link to it in the thread while I upload this video. It's so good. Sometimes the big problem with these is sometimes it can be hard to not miss. I mean, those little symbols appear on the floor, which are very useful because they show you exactly where the coins are in relation to you, or where the jumble landmarks are in relation to the floor. For example, if there's something on the ceiling, for example here, this is exactly where the actual hole is in the ceiling. That's what the big symbol on the floor means there. Turn it upside down right here. There's markers all over the place in this level. They kind of just show you where to turn so you don't waste your time trying to find this sweet spot. And now upstairs.
I quite liked Quince is all. He made me laugh.
That flea sneeze of a jester was never amusing, Oberon. He had to be let go.
But he seemed so upset.
And you blamed Quince for the theft of the jewel?
Just as you said, that disgusting drip of frog snot Jorgen von Strangle seemed to fall for it.
Good. Good! Now, get rid of this irritating child and his moronic fairy godparents.
Well, yes. Yes, of course.
As you say, it shall be done. That was interesting.
But it was just hearsay, inadmissible as evidence.
So let's find some missable evidence.
I like that little missable evidence joke, that's cute. Like, it's an example of Cosmo being stupid but in a cute way as opposed to a destructive one, so I quite like that. Also, this room...
And how can we get across?
we'll come back to this.
Floor and we can't.
There's something going on.
Quite like how straightforward that
We
is.
need to find clues. Let's collect stars and make a clue-finding wish.
You'd better stay clear of the knights. They can't move, but they'll hit you if you come close.
This is a really cool part of the game. I really like this area coming up.
That's a pretty big loom.
I wonder what they use it for.
Plot, I expect. But why? Oberon and Titania are rich enough to buy all the cloth they need.
Wish stars must have been attracted to it. That suggests it's magical.
So let's climb a giant loom, shall we? And because of the shape of the loom, of course, it has a lot of ceilings and floors. There's going to be a lot of flipping in this room, and it's a really cool way of using this power as well, to have such a big, elaborate set piece you can play with, and it's just a really complicated but really interesting room because it's got an actual function to it, so it feels like we're somewhere that actually has a purpose within the mansion. Its purpose is unknown to us.
There's a star on the loom.
We know it's making cloth, but we don't know why. But it's not just like floating platforms with no rhyme or reason, like in the previous game. It actually has a reason to be here and an actual structure that makes physical sense as to what it's actually trying to be. And this is generally a really cool idea as well, as running around on a giant loom. That owns. Really good, that is. And yeah, this is where those symbols come very handy. Because otherwise we'd be fiddling around all over the place, not knowing where we can flip. And here I wasn't certain if there's a secret on this side. There isn't. I just had to check it out just in case, because I was forgotten if it was a secret or not. Because the secret might not have been marked in the same way as the way forward, but it's not the problem, so... I mean, it's not the case, I mean. So let's keep going, shall we? Once I just made sure.
Oh, the star was all tangled in thread.
I see a star!
So you mean it's star-stuck? I also quite like this, the coins kind of form a trail as well for you to go places, which is very helpful too. As opposed to having to run into all the corners of the room and try and grab the stuff, it's actually like a nice little trail. Let's keep going, shall we? We're nearly there.
This sticker will always remind me of this moment.
Quite like that each section of the loom has a distinct shape to it as well. Like some of it's fairly flat, some of it's got kind of a pyramid kind of shape to it. There's just a lot of variety in how the loom looks, and it's a very interesting idea. I really like the whole like the room-sized loom, or the corridor-sized loom. Really, it's a really cool idea. Here we actually do have a marking. We just can't see it as effectively. It's actually that little green square on the carpet. It's not always the case, but the fact that that square is there is quite helpful for marking exactly where to land to the start.
Part of the tapestry, Mr. Stein.
Let's grab this now. One more clover. A clover, can Timmy come over? This one's a little bit tricky because it's not really an easy kind of place to stand. You just have to kind of deal with it. It's kind of in the middle of this carpet area, like between these eaves, and it's just kind of ridiculous. There we are. Oh, da. That was annoying. This is post commentary, that was me acting. There we go. That's that. Let's move on, shall we? Here we are at the end of the loom.
There's a star on top of that bobbin.
Bobbin is my favorite word. Bobbin!
So now we're done with the loom. Time to climb the bobbins. I say climb, but not really much to climb, is there? Luckily they're really big, so it's easy to land on them as well, so you don't end up missing them and getting annoyed. Because there's no symbol on that one. It just kind of leaves you alone to get on them.
We're in a haunted mansion. What should I wish for?
We need to be able to do the same things ghosts do.
I'm already scary. Watch this.
Okay then. I wish I could be a ghost.
Careful what you wish for, Timmy. We don't want to do this the hard way.
Cool. I'm a ghost. I bet I can see through grills and gratings and stuff.
Activate the costume to go boom. It's so scary, right, Cosmo?
Keep it away from me. No!
Don't worry, Cosmo. I only haunt bad guys.
Hands up if you played Chibi Robo, because that's what this costume reminds me of quite a lot, is Chibi Robo's ghost costume.
I guess a creaky old
I quite like that Timmy does a little woo thing as well when spooking things with his costume. That's just really adorable. He has a little button that you can just press to make him go woo. It's just such a childish way of using this kind of thing, and it just works so well for the character of Timmy Turner. Because he is a child. Not in the annoying way, he gets a bit later in the series. But now with the ghost costume, we can get to the final wing of the mansion. So let's do so, shall we? Also, this is very fitting for the whole, like, investigation, because of course, going places we're not supposed to be.
I bet it was that knight. Let's get him! Somehow.
First, though, before we get the knight, we have a couple of things to pick up in this room on the ceiling, as you can see. 3 chandeliers that have stars on them. So let's grab those while we're here, shall we? Luckily the chains make it very easy to line these ones up. You just get up by the chain and you're there. you're laughing here. It's a lot easier than getting on the underside of the other chandeliers. One more chandelier, and then we'll solve the puzzles in this room. And we got the view out the windows as well. It's kind of nice. It's clearly a flat texture, but it's a nice one. Now, ghost costume, so we can use that on this night. The knights are very superstitious.
Ghosts. I'm scared of knights and ghosts, and bats and wolves, and marshmallows. Good job, Timmy.
There we go.
Now that the knight's trapped,
So just get the knight on the pressure plate and get the thing. That's how this part of the level works. Scare the knights and get the prize. There's a lot of particle effects going on now with the wobbly room and everything like that, so it's causing a bit of slowdown, a bit more than it was, sorry. And of course, the knights are colour-coded. Their plumes are colour-coded to their little panels.
let's put 2 and 2 together.
There's red dealt with, now blue's turn.
Got him.
There we go.
And the star's been released.
The star's free.
I'm going to conclude this is kind of a recreation wing as well, very specifically recreation wing, because you have like the dining room, you have this music room here, and then on the other side, as you can see the big statues, there's kind of a jumble meeting area there. And then on the other side of the mansion is the whole of the library and everything like that, and the jumble research areas and stuff. And then of course in the upstairs floors we have the living quarters of Oberyn and Titania, as we have already seen some of up there, and we'll be seeing more of them later on. This one I got a little bit like careful on, because I didn't know if you could actually get on the little sofa things by the windows, or like window beds, without going upside down. You actually can. It's way low enough, and I barely sit on the window to get this split. I kind of just messing around here pretty much. This is me being cheeky with the mechanics. I was supposed to just hop on there, I think. I've just forgotten if I could or not, so it was like, well, I might as well make sure I get enough height to get on it. I just like the way the devices flip up to those little angry faces. That's just really cool. And of course, great use of theremin. Of course, these guys are all in weird locations compared to where their actual panels are. They're all facing the wrong panels. So we can't just spread them out. We have to actually figure out which panel's where and get them over there. There's blue one. Nope. Yellow. Ah.
We'll get rid of the knights, little star. Then you'll be free. Until we catch you again, that is.
One. These two at least are now facing the right directions. Let's get them there, shall we? One more. And now we're finished with the knights.
We have 3 stars. What's your wish, Timmy?
It's time to get down to serious detection, guys. There's something fishy going on here, and we need to be able to track it.
That's right. The thief must have left a trail of some kind.
Wish I had a magic magnifying glass to look for clues.
We should call this a magic-fying glass. Oh, get it?
No, we shouldn't.
I don't think so either. Mention that again and I'll turn you into a candelabra, then light all your heads.
When I use this magnifying glass, I should be able to see stuff that isn't visible to the naked eye. Oh boy, I'm gonna check everywhere.
I'm funny. Laugh at me.
And now, of course, we have the magnifying glass. I'm okay, Cosmo. It's okay, Cosmo. I love your joke.
Good one, Cosmo.
I think Timmy's just done with Cosmo's humor there. It was just kind of amusing, but again, I'm on his side. I like that name, the magnifying glass. Although it has a very kind of a unpleasant visual effect. It's very bright and very garish. Nothing on the ceiling here. It was worth a look. This area is pretty much dealt with now. It's a very small area. There's not really much to it, but now we have all the spells, all the wishes, and now we can investigate the other rooms properly and make sure we don't miss anything this time. Wow, that is a very garish kind of a effect though. It's just like, it kind of is searing to the eyes. I do not like the effects, and I know where the trail goes, so I don't really need to follow it like that. I'm just kind of doing this to keep the visibility so you can at least see where the trail goes for yourself. And goes over there. But let's go over here first now. We have stuff we can do over here. Because now we can do things on the ceiling that we couldn't do before. And we can also go through here. For the video. That's nice. So now we're just here finishing off these parts of the mansion. We're about to see a really elaborate secret that I really like. It's got a lot of like ways of using all of the different items and things in concert. That's it, in concert, and in a way that I quite like. It's in here. I didn't bother with the ceiling thing before. I'm doing it now because now we have a reason to do it because we can get through here.
Going, Timmy. Shh, quiet, Cosmo. Timmy knows what he's doing.
Granted as well, the Cosmo won't have no idea what's going on here. They're just kind of tagging along on our basically. This is a hunch Timmy has. There's no reason for him to be up here. It's just a hunch. And one is about to pay off in dividends. Dividends? I don't know if that's probably the wrong way of using that word, but it's going to pay off in spades. It's going to pay dividends, I think I was going to try and say that. So let's get this block on the block symbol, shall we? Because it's a very... I quite like that the game does that as well, giving you those little symbols so you know where to put things. So you're just not trialing and erroring. Which will be very frustrating.
A secret area full of stuff. Wow.
Well done, Timmy.
I like the secret area, it's pretty cool.
My fairy blood.
And I bet you thought when we get these coins we were done here. No, this is the secret area. That's going to get very secret. That's the secret area. This is the top secret area. I really like they did that as well, putting something on the ceiling in the secret area, because it's like gives you a false sense of completion. Like, oh, I've got the secret, I'm fine. But it's like, no, there's another secret you have to get to. And I really just enjoy the idea of that. That's a cool room. I like this room a lot. It shows a lot of imagination. I'm just checking my progress here just to make sure, just to see how my progress is doing with crowns and everything like that, because it's kind of hard to tell when you have multiple crowns from previous worlds. Let's just get out of this room now, shall we? And finally go to where we need to go. Oops. Here I wasn't sure if there's a coin on top of these tall cabinet things. I don't believe there is. I think I've got the coins in here already. I just want to make absolutely certain here. Yeah, there we go. Now I can see from here there's no other coin, so it's time to move on. I want to make absolutely certain though, because you know, better safe than sorry, and having to come back all the way around here again to find the one coin I missed somewhere. So let's go to where we should be now, shall we? Pick up the trail again. Because we might as well keep following the trail. We have the magnifying glass, we might as well use it. Here we go. Let's follow the trail up to the second floor. First floor, rather. I like this dome ceiling as well. It's a cool kind of a way of showing, yes, you're definitely on the ceiling in this room, because it's a unique ceiling to it that the room has.
There, when we look through the glass, we see invisible things. And it's
Yeah, we've got better things to do right now. Like this. This annoyed me, because it looks like the coins are a little bit, like, invisible in a really weird way.
Weird room. What should I do?
Ooh, try the magic
But
button.
now,
Magnify.
I've got the remaining ones, so I just had to kind of, like, make Timmy kind of bounce so that his hitbox went into the ceiling a little bit so that he could actually grab the coins. Because otherwise that was never going to work. So now it's time to move on. Get our magnifying glass back out. And go to the thing on the other side of the room. And follow these pink and blue sting lines. Once I've made sure, of course, I haven't missed this. There we go.
highly collectible.
I quite like Timmy's face as well when the mansion turns upside down. He's all like, "Whoa, what?" As he realizes he's about to just fall. Or I guess leap, as the case may be. I also quite like this as well. We can do this. This is funny. I like that. Of course, this is on an invisible platform, but I quite like that we can get on the underside of the platform. That's a fun thing. Let's just do this properly, shall we? Then to get a magnifying glass and to get the lay of the land going. Just perfect timing there, wasn't it? Couldn't have timed that better.
This sticker isn't sticky. I'll get the paste.
But I get up there didn't. Fine. Let's invert. And invert again. And that's all the coins here, so let's move on, shall we? To wherever the trail leads us. So it happens to be behind this portrait that's no longer there. And here we have the bedroom. Now here I screwed up a puzzle and spent a lot of time wasting this time with this block. Because as you can see, I kind of have to move the block around the room. I move it in completely the wrong direction and get it stuck behind the bed, so I cut that part out. But I kept me collecting any stuff that's in the room, because there's some interesting places the collectibles are hidden. Or placed, rather. Here is one of the things, like, after I've moved the block into a stupid position, above the bed, on the bedpost, we have a couple of coins here that are very, very, very easy to miss. So as you can see, that block is miles away from where it needs to be. So let's cut back to where we actually solved the puzzle, shall we? Here's where it was before, that was where it starts. So we actually have to move it over this way, not the other way. We have to get it on top of this lip. We all have to get it over that lip on the right there, but I was completely wrong. I was an idiot. I really messed that puzzle up. But we're nearly there now. We've got it on the wood. So let's flip again. And now we have a mysterious portrait to get through again. There we go. The final area.
A secret passage behind Oberon and Titania's bedroom, huh?
That's a little suspicious.
I bet this is how the thief entered the treasure room.
I bet you're right, Cosmo. The question is, who could have had access to it?
So let's continue following this trail, shall we? It's kind of obvious which way it's going to go, so we don't really need the trail itself anymore. Just making sure there's nothing on the ceiling that I could have missed. It's a fairly basic setup of the room now. Of course, each hole in this floor/ceiling has a coin on both sides of it, on all the 4 sides. Like, about both sides of it, of course, on top of and underneath it. I think that's how they're basically there saying this way up. Oh, this is pretty questing, just reminds me of Hogwarts quest a bit, really. The quest for flipping the things. So there we go. Now, quite like how each area has a slightly different obstacle as well. Like the previous ones are great, this is now a wine rack, which is very fitting because, of course, mysterious things are often hidden behind the wine racks in these kind of stories. That's just quite fitting that we have to get past the wine rack to get to where we need to be. Just making sure, of course, just checking again just to make sure nothing too much is missing. That's somewhere less ridiculous, but it's not going to fall immediately where it was. One more place to push it, past the wine rack. Again, I was just making sure. That's where we actually need to be, that other side of this door. So let's move this into position. But before we actually jump across it to get to where we need to be, we have a few more coins to pick up. First this part of the ceiling, and then a few things that I missed elsewhere. Because as you can see, we should have 350 to have all the 300 gems here, but we actually are missing 6. So we're missing something. So let's cut to the missing things, shall we? Eventually. There we are. First we want to buy a few things. I'm finally going to pick up this radar, because we actually can't unlock the other things without getting the Wish Star radar. That is actually what unlocks this, which is what I wanted, the coin radar, and this, which is the secret items, like clovers and things. We don't need them though yet. So here is where the last coin is. Not the last coin, but the last coin in this room, one we missed. Somewhere in the loom. There's one section of the loom we didn't actually go on to. Whoops. That's that done. So let's go to the last area of the, where we're missing stuff. So in here, we don't need detective vision on, but if we look up, we can see we are missing a few platforms up there, look. That weren't there, that were there before, I just missed them. So let's invert rather, and get to those 3 platforms, and finally complete the level properly, by getting all the collectibles. Remaining coins. Making sure, there we go, all 300 coins. And of course these 2 things are the last clover leaf and the last sticker. There we are. So let's go back, like a cut, to where we were so we can actually do the boss fight, shall we? And now it's time for the worst boss in the game, in my opinion. It's so tedious and frustrating because it's very random whether it succeeds or not. It's a cool idea, it's just not implemented well.
So this is the secret treasure room.
Nah, it's kind of empty. I expected a little more treasure in a treasure room.
Maybe Oberon and Titania had to sell their treasure. It's hard to afford treasure when you're not royal.
Oh, how sad.
This is a very, very basic setup here. I just wanted to check if I could see inside that we can't. So I just wanted to check that though, but you know, it's obvious what's going on here. It's a cute idea for a fight, but the actual implementation is a nightmare. There we go. It's kind of a crapshoot whether you'll actually hit them or not with the blocks, but I think the idea might be that like if they're starting to disappear and reappear, that's probably what you meant to actually do with the thing. I just never worked out the actual timing to see if that was the case, so it always just felt like, how is that not hitting him? Or them rather, because it looks like it should be hitting them. Sorry about the slowdown by the way there, that was particularly bad there. So it was a long video before I edited it down, and so the recording software probably started to have a bit of trouble there, but I think that should be the end of that nonsense. The music's good though. It's just such an annoying fight. Very good music though. Here we go, I think. There we are. Yeah, it looks like it's when they disappear and reappear, so when you actually meant to hit them. I just never cottoned on until recording this commentary right now. But at least now I know, so it'll probably be less annoying if you ever do this again in the future, this game. Now that I know that the teleporting is the key aspect of this fight, as opposed to just the defensiveness that she has. There you have Laura. I'm kind of giving the game away here, but yeah, fine. But yeah, like that should have hit, but they just didn't because they weren't in the right cycle, and it just doesn't do a very good job explaining what's actually going on visually. It's just kind of a mess. I do like the actual visual of the boss though. It's a cool visual. It's a funny one too. Nearly done as well. It shouldn't take too much longer. We've only got 2 more hits to make. I seem to try and use these blocks in a more constructive way, so I'm going to start trying to move them into the middle a little bit more, so that they have a chance to actually float above them more often. Because otherwise, the way it is at the moment, they're just not floating in the right directions. Let's try and move these in the middle a bit more and see if that helps at all. Don't get me wrong, this fight's a fun idea, it's just in practice it's kind of a pain. It also takes a while for them to actually reappear as well when they disappear. But yeah, that just clipped directly through them. So this fight is just kind of, if you haven't worked out how the fight works, like I haven't here, it can be a bit of a nightmare really. I've fought this boss for ages before without being able to actually hit them. It's so irritating. One more hit though. Very nearly done here now. I'm getting desperate here right now. I'm like, come on, just hit them already. So it's time for me to get lucky. Here we go. Got ya.
That's leaving her.
Now to reveal the culprit. Now I'm sure we all have a good idea who it is.
I don't. What's happening? Where am I?
Just as I thought. Oberon and Titania, ex-rulers of Fairy World, stole their own royal jewel.
Well, I never.
And by disguising themselves as a ghost, using magic ghost cloth woven by a magic loom, they tried to keep us off their trail.
Well, I double never.
So, where's the jewel?
You mildewed scraps of rodent fur!
We will never tell you who has the jewel.
Aha! So you gave it to someone else.
You foolish old goat gizzard! Don't say a thing!
It doesn't matter. They'll never stop the process. Soon the human world shall be ours to rule.
You intend to rule the world?
One is royalty. Royalty should rule. If one cannot rule Fairy World, one will make a new magic realm in which to be obeyed.
We better get these two back to Jorgen. He can question them.
One supreme personage, manhandled by that muscle-brained outpouring of platypus vomit? Never!
Now, why didn't I think of that?
Oh dear, they got away!
Yeah, but look what I found in all this magical stuff. It's a magic muffin pan.
Good work, Cosmo. That'll come in handy.
And there we have it, the best level in the game, with, in my opinion, the worst boss. It's so annoying, it's just very kind of hard to tell what's really going on with that boss fight. There's a lot of variables going on there. We know we've already bought the bounce pants,
I
it's
cannot
fine.
believe that Oberon and Titania stole the royal jewel.
I take it you were watching on your monitors?
Don't you ever see anything useful?
Like where the jewel is now?
Be silent! You must continue to recover the muffin ingredients.
Yeah, I know. Only a magic muffin has the power to undo the effects of the royal jewel.
And give us our magic back!
Not to mention fix the TV so Timmy can watch Crash Nebula.
So let's see what the last... There's actually coming up is the last two levels as well. The Great Escape, which will be the last one we do. And the next one we'll do, which will be Vicky Strikes Back. Which I really like. This is a neat level coming up, but we'll see that next time. Goodbye.